Heroes of the City of Man, pages 228 to 231. Carthage is not Ithaca, books 1 through 4. These books form a single coherent and carefully structured story, so much so that many readers feel that Virgil's work peaks too early. After the drama and passion of books 1 through 4, everything that follows seems anticlimactic. Virgil, however, obviously believed that the episode in Carthage belonged at the beginning, rather than at the end. In part, Virgil wishes to highlight the later pietas of his hero by depicting his early failures and to set off his true mission from the tempting settlement in Carthage. From one angle, these books provide a small preview of the entire epic. They are arranged in a roughly chiastic pattern. Book 1, Aeneas arrives at Carthage, Dido introduced. Books 2 through 3, Aeneas recounts his travels. Book 4, Aeneas departs. Dido kills herself. As books 1 through 4 concern Aeneas's resistance to the furor of Dido's love, so the entire epic will be concerned with Aeneas's triumph over all madness and his submission to destiny. The opening paragraphs of the epic highlight Juno's role. She is still smarting from the judgment Paris gave, which left her with an eternal inward wound. More than that, she knows that Trojans are destined somehow to overthrow the Tyrian, founded by Phoenicians from Tyre, city of Carthage, one of her favorite cities, and she fears that Aeneas will be the one to overthrow it. Juno's knowledge of the future wars between Rome and Carthage, the Punic Wars, puts an extra layer of significance upon these books. The relationship of Aeneas and Dido represents the later conflicts of the two great cities of the Western Mediterranean. We have already noted that Virgil's description of the landing at Carthage draws from Homer's description of Odysseus's landfall at Ithaca. Reading the Aeneid through Homeric eyes leads us to ask, might Carthage be Aeneas's Ithaca? Might Dido be his Penelope? Virgil, however, has already told us that the hero of his tale is destined for Italy, and that he will bring the gods of Troy within the high walls of Rome. If this is not a homecoming, why has Virgil described it in these terms? The same ambiguity is evident in Virgil's descriptions of the city of Carthage itself. As Aeneas enters the gates, enveloped like Odysseus in a mist, he admires a bustling civilization that has blossomed in North Africa under Dido's leadership. Aeneas found where lately huts had been, marvelous buildings, gateways, cobbled ways, and din of wagons. There the Tyrians were hard at work, laying courses for walls, rolling up stones to build the citadel. While others picked out building sites and plowed a boundary furrow, laws were being enacted, magistrates and sacred senate chosen. Here men were dredging harbors. There they laid the deep foundation of a theater and quarried massive pillars to enhance the future stage. Aeneas responds with a touch of envy and sadness. How fortunate these are whose city walls are arising here and now. He sees in Dido's achievement a picture of what he is destined to achieve, but is not. Aeneas is even more encouraged by the temple that the Carthaginians are constructing, whose walls are decorated with scenes of Trojan wars. Sighing and with cheeks grown wet with tears, Aeneas relives the battles he lately fought. Achilles and Diomedes on their rampages, the mourning women of Troy, Hector dragged around the city walls behind raging Achilles' chariot. He even sees himself in the midst of the battle. Aeneas concludes in one of the most famous lines of the epic that the people of Carthage know of the Trojans and their sufferings and have sympathy for them. Sunt lacrimae rerum, literally, there are the tears of things, which Fitzgerald translates, they weep here for how the world goes. Since the Carthaginians know the sufferings of Troy so well, Aeneas is sure they will treat him well. This fame ensures some kind of refuge. And then there is Dido, every inch a queen. When she appears, she looks like Diana, surrounded by nymphs, with her quiver slung on her shoulders. In her stride, she seems the tallest, taller by a head than any. It is not only Dido's physical appearance that impresses Aeneas. She is a chief of a vigorous people and an emerging civilization. In such delight she moved amid her people, cheering on the toil of a kingdom in the making, at the door of the goddess shrine under the temple dome, all hedged about with guards on her high throne, she took her seat. Then she began to give them judgments and rulings, to apportion the work with fairness or assign some tasks by lot. When some Trojans approach Dido asking for asylum, she is reassuring and hospitable. "Cast off your fear, you Teucrians. Put anxiety aside," she tells the Trojans, adding that she will send out a party to search for Aeneas. Maybe this is Ithaca after all. It seems too good to be true. Which it is. Carthage and Dido give Aeneas a taste of what is in store for him. He too will lead a people in constructing a city and a civilization, and like Dido, he will pass judgments and assign tasks. But he will not do it in Carthage. Carthage, for all its virtues, is not Ithaca, and any start Aeneas makes here is doomed to be a false start. Virgil signals this in a number of subtle ways. The temple that so impresses Aeneas, and whose walls depict the Trojan War, is dedicated to Juno. This is a temple that Dido enters, and where she sits to rule her kingdom, so that when Dido takes her seat in Juno's temple, she becomes a living icon of the queen of the gods. Not only is Juno the arch-enemy of Troy, but she is, as we noted above, the divine personification of that furor that Aeneas must subdue in order to establish Rome. By associating Dido with Juno from the beginning, Virgil foreshadows the disorder that Dido will experience and cause in later books. Aeneas misrepresents the pictures on the temple walls. If they adorn the walls of a temple of Juno, they can hardly show any sympathy for the Trojans. Virgil's introduction of Dido is also significant. Aeneas first sees her while he is looking at one of the pictures on the temple walls, a picture of Penthesilea leading a battalion of Amazons, a tribe of women warriors, into battle against the Greeks, a girl who dared fight men. While he gazes at the Amazon warrior, the queen paced toward the temple in her beauty, Dido with a throng of men behind. Like a scene from a movie where one character's face dissolves into the face of another, identifying the two characters, Penthesilea dissolves into Dido. The threat that Dido represents is heightened by Virgil's comparison of Dido and Diana, for Diana is a huntress who appears with her quiver slung on her shoulders. Dido is an Amazon, a woman in a man's world who dares to fight not only men, but the will of Jupiter. Diana, the huntress, that is an appropriate comparison. Before Dido is introduced, Virgil initiates a hunting motif that runs through the first 4 books. When Odysseus arrives at Circe's island, he goes hunting to provide food for his crew and follows with a reassuring speech. Similarly, Aeneas goes hunting to secure food for his men and shoots 7 stags, and then encourages his men to perseverance. A hunt seems harmless enough, even necessary, but the Homeric allusion is foreboding. After Odysseus's hunting expedition, his men encounter a powerful witch who turns them to swine and erases all desire to continue their journey. Aeneas's hunting expedition leaves us expecting he will meet another Circe who will turn him into a pig, unconcerned with his homecoming.